guard, they on the mic tonight. News coming in left and right. Oh, better with the latest fight. Gene's got the inside sight. Champions rise and they fall. Wire to wire, got it all. Every move in every brawl. Tune in for the curtain call. Wrestling talk all night long. Catch the latest match and song. Ring the bell, let's get it on. Every story bright and strong. In the ring they clash and roar. New rivalries and so much more. Titles change and legends lore.
What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy, Guard E3, and welcome to the first ever Meaty Boyz Award Show, where we will go through Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year. It's going to be a great time. We got a total of 13 different awards we're handing out tonight. But before we get into that, let's introduce you to the crew. Joining me, like every week, ladies and gentlemen, I always say he is the greatest co-host of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun, he is Mo Better.
Woo!
How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing great. Can't wait to chop it up and talk some wrestling.
And of course, the man that makes this all happen. You can almost say he is the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, main event, Gene Walzak. How you doing,
Rom Gene freaking Walzak, baby. It's like the best wrestler in the industry, Seth freaking Rollins.
No, absolutely. And, before we really get into it, I just want to take a minute to wish everybody tuning in a happy holidays. Tomorrow is Christmas. I hope it all goes well for you. I know I already got my dog some Christmas presents, so they were happy. I'm happy. It's going to be a great time. But you guys have any big plans for Christmas?
Happy holidays. I'm going to go see that Bob Dylan movie tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I bet it's going to be a good movie. I'm going
to go see that with my mom. We're going to have some salmon dinner. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to relax. And then I got a little Friends Miss tomorrow night.
Hey, no, that sounds like a good time.
No wire to wire for the first Wednesday in 220 consecutive Wednesdays.
Wow.
That is crazy. That's
you guys
crazy to think about.
You, Cottrell, and Shao are Iron Man. Wow. That's
220
crazy.
straight Wednesdays. No, but not tomorrow. Christmas Day has put a stop to our streak. We will go live Thursday night, but no wire to wire.
No, yeah, fair enough. So before we get started, I will say that we put out a form for the awards, and the fans did vote on it. So, what's up, Timmy? Thank you for tuning in.
Double T squared. Happy holidays, my man.
So, I will absolutely let you guys know that these were decided by you, the fans who voted on the form, who voted for the award show. Appreciate every single one of you. So why don't we get into it? And we'll start off on Wednesday nights, and we'll alternate. So I'll let you know that your choice square at the bottom is because on every single one of these, I left an other option in case I missed somebody and y'all wanted to add something. So for the first award, we have the Meaty Boyz AEW Best Female Wrestler Under 30. And we have Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Chris Statlander for the three that I have up here. And honestly, this was an absolutely tough choice. I think the voters got this one right. I will say it. There's a lot of great options, but I'll go right ahead and announce it. Mariah May, Chris Statlander, they both had an absolutely phenomenal year, but Toni Storm was the one who won the award. She came over from WWE and NXT and reinvented herself as Timeless Toni Storm, and she's just done absolutely phenomenal character work. It was 10 out of 10 work from her. So all three of these ladies, and I want to shout out Billy Starks from AEW, who got a write-in vote. all those ladies absolutely would deserve it most years, but Toni Storm absolutely knocked this one out of the park, and she was my vote. So, congratulations to Toni Storm for taking home the first ever Meaty Boyz award.
Might have swept it because I got Toni Storm also.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Her character work, 10 out of 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't vote on these two, I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments on who you picked to win each award or who you want to pick. And of course, we're going to follow that up right away just to show you how this goes with the WWE Best Female Under 30.
Can we vote before you tell us who won? Because I don't know who won, and I want to vote like right now because I voted obviously on the forum.
Yeah,
but I want to vote beforehand because I want to be either excited or disappointed if the listeners got it right or wrong. Can we?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Gene, why don't you start us off? Who do you vote for?
So you're saying this is the best wrestler under 30, right?
Yep.
Not for the year 2024, but the best wrestler under 20 under for so this is what I mean why I say this, right? When I answered this question, I put Rhea Bloody Ripley as the best wrestler under 30, but as you see later, there's another category where I might have a different answer for the year 2024. So for this answer, I put Rhea Bloody Ripley.
No, that's fair enough. Mo, do you agree? Do you pick Rhea out of these three, or?
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna give Liv a lot of flowers and credit for her development and where she's at. But the question is, who's the best wrestler under 30? The best wrestler, it's Rhea Ripley. And she's a monster. Look, if you had to ask me who had a better year in 2024, I think I would have had a different answer.
We might have a question that has that, Mo.
Okay.
Oh,
that
yeah.
might be there.
Yeah,
that's why I was alluding to.
Okay, I love
the best female wrestler for the year 2024 will be coming later, and I did pick Rhea Ripley for this one also. And first, I like to put out the honorable mentions. They have a couple from NXT. We have Julia from NXT and Jada Parker. So congratulations to those two ladies No, absolutely. And this might surprise some people, but in third place, we actually had Liv Morgan. In second place, we had Roxanne Perez. And the winner indeed was Rhea Bloody Ripley. So,
see, I think the thing is this, and I mean this when I say it, Brett. I think that listeners or people that are voting aren't voting with the eyes of understanding heels and faces and how good of a heel and how good of a face people are. There's no way Roxanne Perez should be ahead of Liv Morgan in this vote.
Right.
None. But I'll get into that a little deeper when we get into the Wrestler of the Year.
No, fair enough. And then, yeah, well, it was indeed Rhea Ripley that won this one. So congratulations to Rhea Ripley for taking home Best Female Wrestler Under 30.
Congrats, Rhea.
So
I have a feeling she'll be doing pretty good in 2025 also.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Honestly, all three of these ladies will probably be here for 2025, 2026, all the way up until they turn 31. So absolutely, really just doesn't feel like there's a wrong answer here, but Rhea Ripley definitely feels like the best answer.
Agreed.
So
this is fun. I love this one. This is an easy one. I think that can I start with this one, by the way?
Yeah.
This is male wrestler under 30, correct?
Yeah.
When I was going through this, I had to double check and do a double take and Google MJF's age because I did not realize that MJF was under 30 years old. And I'll say this, right? I'm more of a WWE guy than I am an AEW guy, but the one guy that can get me to stop anything and watch wrestling right now for AEW is 100% MJF. Now, granted, he was missing for a good part of the year, but this is best wrestler under 30 in AEW, and this is a no-brainer, no doubt about it. It's Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, that's fair enough. I think so too. That his character work is just so far ahead of everybody. It feels like at times that it's just wild. It's right up there with the best of them. And plus, he can really go in the ring. He can go on the mic. Character work is 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's tough not to vote for MJF here, but
He's a beast. Look, I'll say this: I think that he has the potential for AEW to be kind of their version of Randy Orton. He's not as physically imposing as Randy Orton, but he's the kind of guy that can be the heel, but he can be the heel that you love. I just think that he's the kind of talent that can carry AEW for the next 10, 15 years. He's that kind of guy. Like, if you make another sports analogy, he is a franchise player.
I mean, he's the Seth Rollins in the ring, and he's
Yeah.
the CM Punk on the mic. And to be able to combine those two, like, he's the only guy I've ever seen go head-to-head with CM Punk when Punk was at AEW and hold his own with him on the mic. Like, it was incredible. Maxwell Jacob Freeman is that dude.
yeah, and in the ring, he went an hour with Bryan Danielson, which is absolutely insane. But this one shocked me because it wasn't as a runaway as I thought it was. So let's go with the honorable mentions. Honorable mention to Daniel Garcia, who got a vote. Somebody put the Rizzler with the Costco guys.
The Rizzler.
And somebody put, why is Jack Perry even here? As an honorable mention. So I'll let you know right now that Jack Perry did indeed not win. And the winner was MJF. But Takeshita actually only lost by 2 votes.
Wow.
12 to 10.
I did not think it'd be that close.
Yeah, it was actually a nail biter. I thought MJF would run away from this with this one, but Takeshita's in ring work and has really won a lot of people over, and he's had a lot of bangers this year with guys like Ospreay, and no matter who you put him in the ring with, it's going to be a really good match. So congratulations to MJF for winning the first ever Meaty Boyz Male Under 30 award, and congratulations to Takeshita for keeping it so close. It's a lot closer than I thought it would be. Hey, Steven, what's up?
What's good, Steve?
This one was fun. Best male under 30. Now, this one was another interesting one. And why don't we start with you, Mo? Who did you vote for?
Look, I might be in the minority here, and I'm fine with going out on this ledge. I'm taking Dom. I love everything about Dom. I'm taking Dom. Dom doesn't carry. He doesn't have a belt, but what we talked about is it's about storytelling. It's about heel. It's about heat. Dom has the kind of heat that a lot of main event guys don't have. Like, I'm gonna go with Dom. I'm not knocking, obviously, what the other two did, especially when you look at the impact that Breaker has had. But I don't think there's really been a lot of development with Breaker. Breaker, to me, and I don't think it's a knock because it can work. I just think that he's kind of a more modern day version of Goldberg. He's not really a great wrestler. He's a great athlete, and he's a high impact competitor. But I don't know. I just think there's more to Dom than there is to Breaker. I know everything I need to know about Breaker. I think Dom has more in him. I'm going to put it out there. I think before it's all said and done, wrestling to me it's a marathon, not a sprint. Dom's going to have more belts around his waist than Breaker will in the long run.
So I'll go next here. And I think WWE is right now is 100% fumbling the Carmelo Hayes bag. Carmelo Hayes at NXT with him and Trick Williams were the best two things rolling. And I feel like they fumbled it. First round draft pick, on SmackDown, and they've done nothing but just throw him in 7 straight fights with Andrade. Which, by the way, those fights, those matches are great.
They are great matches.
But there's no really, really poor storytelling with Carmelo Hayes right now. Braun Breaker has a skyrocket plugged up his butt from Royal Rumble. And they basically have skyrocketed him as the Intercontinental Champion. But I'll tell you this, there's not a person that gets people out of their seats. There's not a person that gets people to give more of an emotional reaction. There's not a person that gives me more comedy and more entertainment than Dominic Mysterio. I'm going to go Dirty Dom. Remember, when you're playing a role of a face or a heel, that's a role. And I think that Dirty Dom is a better heel than Braun Breaker.
I did vote for Dom too. So let's see what the fans thought. So we had 2 write-ins, one for Brutus Creed of the Creed Brothers, okay. And the other, I like this write-in. One for Oba Femi. NXT. He was absolutely fantastic. I caught my first quick glimpse of him at NXT Stand and Deliver. Seeing him in that triple threat. When he gets to the main roster, he's going to be a problem. He's already a problem in NXT. But he's absolutely going to be a problem. I love seeing Femi.
My bad, Brett. I like the Obafemi write-in vote because I think they're seeing what anybody that really appreciates when you see a star, when you see somebody that's going to go to the next level. So I like that one. The Creed brother thing, to me, look, no offense, whoever the fan was, what a wasted vote. A Creed brother? I just think the Creed brothers are jobbers. I don't think there's anything special about them. I don't ever see them being like mainline performers. They're not even that great as henchmen. I don't get it. I don't get that vote at all. My guess is the person that voted for him is related to him.
I'm shocked that this guy didn't get a vote. Javon Evans, that's a great write-in, Chambers. That's a great one. Javon Evans is killing it down in NXT. And this one was close too. We actually had a tie for second. So coming in second, Carmelo Hayes and Dominic Mysterio. So the winner of the fan vote was Braun Breaker.
I'm not surprised.
So
near mind. You get a lot of people that are just going to go with the person that's being most successful in the industry and not the person that's drawing the most attention.
So congratulations to Braun Breaker for winning the award overall. Love to see it. See, I love when the fans vote because, like, it's unpredictable, really. Like, a lot of these are closer than I thought, and I honestly thought Dom would win this one. So it caught me off guard.
Yeah, I mean, it caught me off guard as well. And look, I'm with Gene. If you're talking about talent, if you're talking about what they could be or what they should be, if the storytelling, if Triple H and creative is on their game, Carmelo Hayes is a beast. I mean, he's athletic. He can go aerial. He can be physical. He can brawl. He can be a technician. I think he'd make a great heel. He also has the kind of face and personality where he'd be a great I think he can go either way. And Gene's spot on. That kind of talent is being wasted.
Yeah, I didn't understand when he came out and they had him lose in like a minute to Braun Strowman on SmackDown. I was completely lost. It was very reminiscent of back in 2017 when Finn Balor randomly lost to Kane in a minute on an episode of Raw.
I remember.
So I hope they got big plans for Melo coming up because it's just weird with him right now. But he's such a talent; it would be a waste if they didn't do something with him.
I mean, you look at the way they pushed Mr. A-Town, the way they pushed him with a rocket ship, and Carmelo Hayes is a way better wrestler than Austin Theory. So, I mean, it's very similar personality types, very similar attributes, except they pushed one and not pushing the other.
Oh, absolutely. So this is one of my favorite categories. I've always been big on entrances because I think they can really help a match. If the entrance is memorable, you're gonna probably remember it more. And AEW, actually, I thought this one they had some really cool entrances this year. The three that I put for up here: Bryan Danielson, AEW All In right before his title match. We have Sting right before his retirement match at Revolution, and we have Will Ospreay from AEW All In. I remember this one. Why? I got to see all of these. They were all a ton of fun. So why don't we tell you the winner? Coming in at third, we have Will Ospreay at All In.
Makes sense.
It was a cool entrance, but I kind of figured that it would be third.
Probably a distant third too, based on voting.
Yeah, because at number 2 we have the icon Sting. That was an absolutely phenomenal entrance. I
Shocker.
thought,
It hurts. That hurts.
and honestly, normally I would be salty about it. I love Sting, and he had a 10 out of 10 entrance. But Bryan Danielson at All In. So for this match, it was the first time in a while they brought back the final countdown for him, and then
Agreed, Steven.
I think what pushed it over the edge. I would have been mad if Sting won. I think what pushed it over the edge is really the crowd interaction. I think Sting had the cooler presentation, but you had every single fan, like, 60, 70,000 strong, singing along, screaming, it's the final countdown. I think that's what probably pushed it over the edge. I think the fan show out was better for Bryan Danielson. It was just louder and just more rowdy. The fans went crazy for Sting too, and the presentation was better. But it's really tough to beat, 50, 60,000 people just singing along to your song and just going that ballistic for you. So congratulations to Bryan Danielson for winning. Say, I'm curious. Yeah, his son's dressing like him was really cool. So I'd say it feels like you knew it was going to come down to Danielson or Sting, and it really turned it on, what you prefer. I preferred Sting, but I wasn't mad when I saw Danielson won because that was a really once in a lifetime entrance. Both of them were. Now, this WWE Entrance of the Year. The three that I put up there, because he probably had the coolest presentation of the year. I'll give him credit for that. The final boss, The Rock, at WrestleMania 40.
That was dope.
Jey Uso, Backlash France. And I thought this one was criminally underrated. It wasn't talked about enough. Sami Zayn went right before he fought Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title, Raw, on April 15th, when he started out outside the stadium and slowly worked his way through the crowd. That was just a really creative entrance, and I thought it was really well done. So I'm curious. I'll start with you, Gene. Who did you vote for on this one?
I mean, look, at Backlash, watching Jey Uso and that entire crowd, it was basically the birth of the day one-ish, like the yeet, the whole crowd doing it with the glasses. It was incredible. They used this match to put a rocket ship behind Jey Uso and this entrance. This entrance, basically gave him so many main events on Raw after this because of it being, and even in matchups where he's not supposed to be the first entrant to the match, they allow him to be the first entrance to the match to get the crowd up. It kicked off a WrestleMania. Listen, it's an easy answer for me. It's main event Jey Uso.
Do you agree, Mo?
I do. I love Jey Uso. He's not just one of my favorite performers, but Jey Uso has a connection to the fans.
Yep.
That it is so. There are guys who are on a higher tier than Jey Uso that don't have that connection. people
Agreed.
gravitate to Jey Uso in a way that other performers wish they did. So I don't think it's close. The fans might go another way, but I'm definitely going with main event Jey Uso.
No, that's fair enough. Well, the fans actually had 2 write-in votes, and another one was actually from the same pay-per-view in France. If that crowd was crazy in France, and the entrance that they had was Randy Orton.
Yeah, voices. I knew exactly where it was going. They were singing that song.
Oh yeah, they were going wild for it. And the other one, the tribal chief from WrestleMania Night 2, 100%. Roman Reigns.
I knew exactly they're great write-ins, just to be clear. Great write-ins. If you were asking last year's entrance, I think last year, WrestleMania 39, the tribal chief would have won. But
yeah, I think so too.
It's a 5-minute entrance at SoFi. It's a 5-minute entrance. They couldn't do that in Philly because it was 34 degrees. I'm kidding. It might have not been that cold, but it was cold. But in SoFi, that entrance took forever. It was like a whole orchestra. It's incredible. But this year it's Jey Uso.
Let's see. Well, the fans think that in third place we had the final boss, The Rock.
Okay, makes sense.
Second place, Sami Zayn from Raw, making the best entrance of the event, Jey Uso from Backlash France. I absolutely love it. I completely agree, and that's who I voted for too. Quickly, if you're in the chat, give me a yeet.
Yeet!
So, congratulations to main event Jey Uso. And it's crazy to think that Jey Uso, if you asked, 5 years ago, it's crazy how long he's come a long way, because you would have never thought that Jey Uso would beat The Rock in an entrance contest. But here we are. He's grown so much, and it's been so cool to see. So,
day one-ish, bro.
Absolutely. And then the next one we got the Tag Team of the Year. Let's start off on the AEW side. And the voting, this one was a pretty easy one. This one was pretty clear as day who won this one. So we'll start off with the fan vote, because we actually had a couple. We had a couple for the Maximum Male Models and the Outrunners. Steven Chambers is picking FTR. Okay. And they were actually at number 3. FTR at number 3. At number 2, we had Private Party, which means the AEW Tag Team of the Year, the Young Bucks. Love them, hate them. At the end of the day, they get such a reaction, and they can put on a great match with everybody. They threw on multiple classics this year, including one that will be, mentioned later in the show. But, congratulations to the Young Bucks for winning AEW Tag Team of the Year.
They got it right.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I picked for it. So, which naturally means WWE Tag Team of the Year. Now, I didn't really do the women's tag division because it didn't feel like that there were enough tag teams to do a women's WWE Tag Team of the Year. So,
I mean, you might be right, but I'll tell you right now, I'll take Bianca and Jade over any of these 3.
You know what's funny? The Bianca and Jade were all right in, and they actually finished second. Spoiler alert. Yeah. So it was crazy, but yeah. No, there is one person, and I'll admit I was the one I forgot to put Bianca and Jade in there. That's my bad. But the fans still made sure to tell me that I'm an idiot and still made sure that they made it in the polls. So
a storm is coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you ready? Are you ready for Naomi? Are you ready for Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania?
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It is coming.
And you'll be able to catch that right here. I already took off for Mania and the Royal Rumble. I'll be doing a watch along right here on the Wire to Wire Podcast Network. Fraser and Axiom from NXT, Steven votes for. Fire and Dawn also had a great year. Oh, that's fair.
Oh,
So let's see.
out of these three though, it's DIY.
So we'll get to the honor. There's like a small group of that all like, had a very small percentage of the votes. We'll go through here. We have that's a Bianca and Jade Cargill. Oh, Imperium got a vote.
Dumb.
And DIY only got one vote. I was shocked.
That's probably me.
So in third place was actually Finn and JD. I thought DIY would finish ahead of them. That caught me off guard. But Finn and JD were third place. Jade and Bianca were 2. And this is impressive. It's actually Fraxium from NXT. Fraser and Axiom, like Steven just said, who won the fan vote. Which is really cool to see that they're already making a name for themselves. They beat a lot of great tag teams this year in, WWE and NXT. So congratulations to Fraxium for winning the popular fan vote. That's great. I love it. I voted for DIY. I'll put that out there right now.
I mean, there should be more than one vote for DIY then.
Yeah.
I voted for DIY too.
Huh. Maybe I clicked on the wrong one because mentally I picked DIY, but maybe I accidentally.
If I could write in Jade and Bianca, I would do that because Jade and Bianca was the tag team of the year. I don't care, men, women, doesn't matter. I think Jade and Bianca would throw around Finn and JD. Just throw them around, take those belts away from them.
That's facts.
No, absolutely.
I want to get a 2-on-1 match. Jade and Bianca to beat me up.
I'd say maybe the next time they come
Pretty
around
smart.
to Philly, maybe they'll hit you up.
I'm not fighting back. I'm just making sure they don't pin me so we can keep the match going as long as possible.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, congratulations to Fraxium for winning the WWE Tag Team of the Year. Love to see it. NXT representation. And then, naturally, we'll get right into debut of the year. Now, I had a snub here too. I actually slipped my mind on Mercedes Moné, who still got a couple of votes in the write-in.
That's 100% better than these three.
Oh, agreed.
It's funny because I made sure to tell everybody that there was a write-in, and they still got more votes than Mercedes Moné somehow, which caught me off guard because we've already seen that the write-ins can actually win. The write-ins almost pushed Jade and Bianca to winning the tag team of the year.
Good job, right?
So the write-ins did not. They put in Mercedes Moné, but she did not crack the top 3. And we also had Okada for debut of the year. So that's fair enough. At number 3, we did have AJ and Big Justice. I will say, I'll give them credit. They came in, they had a debut, they got everybody talking, and their match was actually a lot of fun. It was for free on the pre-show. They did bring a lot of eyes to the product. I'll give them credit. They made an impact that was actually really good. Not something you would expect from the Costco guys, so I'll give them credit for that. And then, before I get to 2 and 1, do you guys want to share who you voted for?
I mean, I voted for the Costco guys because the 2 guys on the top, Bobby Lashley and Ricochet, are absolute bums on a microphone. And I have zero excitement to see either one of those guys talk.
Oh, fair enough. What do you think, Mo?
I co-sign. They, when you talk about entertaining your fans, Bobby Lashley has a lot of things. On the mic, he's not entertaining. Ricochet's not entertaining. So to me, I don't even think it's close. I think the Costco guys blew him out. I'm assuming they blew him out, but the fans might go another way.
If I'm trying to be honest when I say this. If Ricochet had a real mouthpiece that could talk for him, because he's incredible as a wrestler.
He is.
But he can't cut a promo to save his life.
Stephen Chambers' answer: none of the above.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's good. That's a good one.
Give me Mercedes Monet.
And then at number 2 was Ricochet. The fans said that the winner was Bobby Lashley from Dynamite. You know, he's paired with MVP, so maybe, you know, MVP can do the heavy lifting on the microphone for him, so that's fair. So congratulations to Bobby Lashley for winning the AEW debut of the year. I love to see it. Love to see it. I love that the fans are so active in voting. It was great. Steven, I appreciate you in the comments. You are not going unnoticed, by the way. I love it. So, WWE debut of the year. This one was tough because I just didn't want to put in like every single Bloodline debut. So, I left out, Tongaloa and Tamatonga. I decided to pick the best one, which I think most people would say it's Jacob Fatu. Also included the Motor City Machine Guns and the Wyatt Six.
I know who won this, Brett. I don't know who won this, but I know who they voted for. But I just want to voice my displeasure again for how bad the WWE is fumbling the Wyatt Six. It's just embarrassing. From 3 months of QR codes to a battle with fake Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, and the Creed brothers. And now they're in with this other Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. Such a joke. Give them a big spot. I'm sure Wyatt 6 won. I'm sure they won. I voted for Jacob Fatu because he's the best of the 3. But you know, I'm embarrassed at how bad they're fumbling the Wyatt 6-pack.
The frustrating part is I agree. I think they should be doing bigger things because I think they've proven that they all have the talent that they can handle a bigger spot. Like, all of their matches have been really good. Like, their segments have been really fun. They're just they cooled them off after that really hot debut really quickly, and I didn't understand it. But
what are they doing now? They already had the tag match with what's Karrion Kross's group called? What are they called?
The Final Testament.
It's another joke of a group. But they already had the match with the Final Testament, and now they're continuing it. It's so bad. I'll tell you right now, the only person in that entire feud that's making it worth watching is The Miz. He can make anything almost worth watching. None. No pop. None.
Probably picking it up with the Wyatt Six when they go to Netflix. I hope so, because like I said, I hate to I think they're so talented, and I think they should just be so much better than where they're being put right now. So, Mo, who did you vote for in this one?
I voted for Jacob Fatu because of it. And look, it's by default. And by the way, he's a terrific talent, but he's an easy pick because of what's been done to the Wyatt Six. That's why he's the easy pick. Yep. I feel like for whatever reason, they've kind of like fallen off and relegated them to being like mid card. Yep. And they have to me main event talent, and you're wasting main event talent. And you know why? Here's the thing: they're main event talent, but you're putting them up against mid card talent. Karrion Kross and that. Come on, man. They're way above Karrion Kross and the Final. That to me. Those are jobbers.
You're talking about fake Earthquake and Typhoon?
Right.
The Authors of Pain?
Right. Fake Earthquake and Typhoon. Right. Come on, man. And look, like I said, Jacob Fatu is a terrific talent. He's the easy choice, but it's because of how criminally wrong they've done the Wyatt Six.
So I think this will shock nobody. 3rd place was the Motor City Machine Guns. I think there was excitement, but obviously the crowd wasn't into it when they first came out. So at 3rd place, we did have the Motor City Machine Guns. The Wyatt Six and Jacob Fatu were separated by 1 vote.
Wow.
So it was actually right there, right down the middle. But in 2nd place, we had Jacob Fatu, and in 1st, we had the Wyatt Six. The debut was amazing for the Wyatt Six. I think the presentation is what won everybody over. Jacob Fatu destroyed everybody. he destroyed Randy, KO and Cody, and that was incredible. Like, I think it was just the overall presentation of the Wyatts and what they did on that first night that put it over the edge. So, congratulations to the Wyatt Six for winning the WWE debut of the year. Hoping for big things in 2025. Hopefully they pick it up soon.
I'm hoping for big things also.
So, we had debut of the year, so why not return of the year? Since now, before we get into that, do you guys want to share your votes?
Oh, guys. Bottom left corner, Brett.
Yeah.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, that's fair. That's who got my vote too.
I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here, but Maxwell Jacob Freeman is it's like the best player in the minor leagues. Even if you use, I hate calling AEW the minor leagues, but that's they are. But you look at UFC, right? And then they used to have a organization called Strike Force that would go at be like a, and there used to be Fedor Emelianenko, and he was the best fighter in the minor leagues of fighting. They went on the UFC. I'll tell you right now, the MJF is the best. I think he's a main card, WrestleMania main eventer. But he's in AEW, so he will be the leader of AEW until he chooses to do something else. But his return spelled views for AEW.
It absolutely did, and I got to admit, I love the tribute to Triple H with the denim jacket. Throw a callback to back when Triple H returned from his quad injury after 9 months and got that pop in Madison Square with the denim jacket. So I love the tribute. We had some fun write-ins. I thought they were a little fun. We had Nigel McGuinness at AEW All In. If anybody doesn't remember, he fought. He had a great match against Bryan Danielson too this year, and the fact that we didn't think we'd see Nigel McGuinness again after he kind of went through some injuries and then retired and then came out of retirement. It's great to see him back in the ring, and I love seeing wrestlers get to try to retire on their own terms. So I was really happy to see Nigel back in the ring. We have Adam Cole from Full Gear, another write-in, which fair enough. The crowd loves Adam Cole's entrance. So they go crazy for it every time. And we have Jack Perry on Dynamite and the Beast Morto. So some great write-ins. I love to see it. We have coming in at third place, Tony Storm from AEW Dynamite. And at second place, Jamie Hayter, AEW All In. The winner, MJF at AEW Double or Nothing. This, I think they nailed this one. I think they nailed this. I love to see it. So congratulations, MJF, for nailing a second award. He's the first ever 2-time Meaty Boyz Awards winner. So congratulations to MJF.
I mean, he's going to win all the AEW awards because he's just that much more talented.
No, that's fair. Now this one, Return of the Year, WWE.
This is so tough.
Now
I want to start here if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
So Cena eliminated immediately because he wasn't even the best return at WrestleMania. So the better return was Taker because you knew Cena was going to come out at WrestleMania. You just knew it. You knew it. It's every year they find a spot for him. It made sense when Solo came out and Solo had put John Cena out. Taker surprised me. Absolutely surprised me. But when the OTC returned at SummerSlam, that shit was awesome. That was fire, man. Ultimately, I went with Taker as my pick because there's very few times you can absolutely get me to jump out of my chair with an oh my God. And at WrestleMania, when Taker came out and you heard the dung and the lights went out, there's just nothing that it gives you chills, bro. It gave me chills. I went Taker.
Who did you go with, Mo?
I went Taker as well, but look, I'm gonna keep it a buck. When the OTC came out, I stood up. I put them ones up in the air. I was right there with everybody. That one went up in the air. Like that was a moment that kind of gave you that whoosh through your body. Like that was a big moment. But I'm with Gene as I'm watching it play out. Cena coming in. You knew what The Rock was going to do to Cena. I had no idea, no hint that we were going to see the icon, the Undertaker, but to see him show up and Rock sold it really well. It was an amazing moment. It was definitely a oh my god moment. That's where I went.
Yeah, I went the same way, being there. Everybody in the arena is chanting for Stone Cold because everybody thinks that glass is about to shatter. So, genuinely, when Taker came out, everybody was surprised and the place just went absolutely bananas. We do have a write-in for this one, though, and it's one I considered putting above John Cena, and maybe I should have, but the return that was the write-in was Big E at the New Day's 10-year celebration. I went with Cena.
Return, though, bro. He showed up for one night.
Oh, that's fair. And
they banged on him.
Picking Taker, fair enough. In third place, we did have John Cena.
Easy.
In second place, we had The Undertaker at WrestleMania 40.
What?
The fans voted for the OTC. The Tribal Chief, throw them ones to the sky. He has the WWE Return of the Year. So congratulations to our Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Because that was hype. I remember because I was watching it on a stream on here with Mo, and we both went nuts as soon as that music hit.
Yeah.
So, the moment of the year. Now, this one was a fun one. This was always a tough one too because there's just so many great moments. The ones I picked here, and I thought I picked the best ones. Sting retires a champion at AEW Revolution. A great moment. Another one, Bryan Danielson wins the title versus career match at AEW All In to continue his full-time career. And at AEW All Out for the third one, the Blackpool Combat Club turns on Bryan Danielson. So, I'm curious. Boo, he didn't. Steven wanted Taker on the last one. He boos the Tribal Chief. So I'm curious. Do you guys want to share your votes for this one?
I will. I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I know I'm in the minority, right? Like we all have our own wrestlers that we think are underrated and overrated, or guys that we don't like as much as everyone else does. And I've never been a yes moment guy. I've never been a Bryan Danielson moment guy. I've never been a Bryan Danielson.
Same.
I love the turn. I love the heel turn. I love the turn on him. So that would be my moment of the year. Sting's retiring as champion was a really cheesy moment, and that was cool. But I like the turn. Any heel turns, and it listen, it sounds so stupid, but it reminds me of one of the best turns of all time. It was the Shield when Seth Rollins. That's one of the best heel turns ever. But the heel turn is what I would pick for mine.
Yeah, I was very biased with that one because I was actually there for the heel turn. I was at All Out, and it was great to see live too. It was fantastic. It was very well done. So we had one write-in, which was Swerve Strickland winning the world title. That's fair. That's fair. I probably should have put that on here, but I love the fact that somebody mentioned it. In third place, we have the heel turn. The Blackpool Combat Club turns on Bryan Danielson.
That was third?
Wow. Yeah.
They got it wrong. It's okay.
Wow.
In second place, we have Sting retires a champion. So in first place, it's Bryan Danielson winning the AEW world title in front of a sold-out Wembley Stadium. Steven also agrees with Eugene, the heel turn from the Blackpool Combat Club for Moment of the Year. So, congratulations to Bryan Danielson. I had to Google for him. Anybody could have voted. It was a good turnout, too. I was so happy to see it. So, thanks again to everybody that voted, by the way. I love interaction.
Steven Chambers, you're the man, brother. Appreciate you.
He is. So the winner for AEW Moment of the Year, Bryan Danielson, wins the world title. Congratulations to Bryan Danielson. Which means we know what's coming next. It's WWE Moment of the Year. So the three, obviously, we got up here. Cody finishing the story. Damian Priest cashes in at WrestleMania. And we have Dom betrays Rhea at SummerSlam of 2024. We got quite a few write-ins, but why don't we start with you, Mo? What did you got for this one?
I went with Cody finishing his story. It was such a big moment, and there were stories within the stories, obviously, and you knew that there were going to be run-ins and things of that nature. And for a minute, you thought, it's not going to happen. And I got to the point actually that I was like, Jesus Christ, just finish the story. Like I didn't just, you need to finish the story. This has been drawn out long enough. But I thought that it ushered in a different era for WWE. It was done really well. The emotion from Samantha Irvin, remember when she announced it, that how her voice cracked. I felt that. I felt all that. So to me, it's Cody, but I can totally understand somebody going with Dom turning on Rhea, but I'm gonna go with Cody finishing his story.
You agree with that one, Gene?
I went with Cody finishing the story just because of how much it was a 2-year story. It was a 2-year lead up. I think the Dominic and Liv thing is, if I'm being completely honest with you, it heightened a great story, a great overall storyline to begin with. The Damian cash-in was cool. That was at the third WrestleMania cash-in of all time. But I went with Cody finishing the story.
This one I'm going to do in reverse because I feel like this one is actually probably one of the most obvious category that we have, because the winner was Cody finishing the story, and it won in an absolute landslide. So we're going to go first to last here, actually, because the second place one, I want to congratulate Cody on winning WWE Moment of the Year and finishing his story. The second one actually wasn't even one of these listed. The one that got voted second and the one that the people picked, Paul Heyman does not acknowledge Solo as his tribal chief and gets put through a table, smacked down at Madison Square Garden.
Paul Heyman's an absolute stud. Yeah. I do not acknowledge you as my tribal chief.
I'll give him credit for that one. That was amazing, and the fact that
what's so good about that, Brett?
Yeah, what's up?
The fact that he didn't sleep the night prior, he didn't shave to make himself look so disheveled and has bloodshot eyes. Like the absolute full acting that he put into that moment made that moment so much better. So I agree with the listeners for writing that in.
Yeah, and the fact that someone like Paul Heyman doesn't need to take any bumps, but the fact he was willing to get powerbombed through a table right after that too, and that was great. So great pick by the listeners for the number 2 spot. And we actually have a 3-way tie for the 3rd spot, which, Damian cashing in. We have Liv and Rhea. The one they added, Kevin Owens pile drives Randy Orton. SmackDown. Yeah.
They're going way too far with this pile driver thing. They did pile drivers for years, right? And now every time someone gets a pile driven, now they broke their neck. Like, I get it, it's an outlawed move, but Kevin Owens did that move, the pile driver for years, and he's a professional at making sure people don't get hurt with that move. So I think they're going a little overboard with it.
Yeah, I'll say it. Well, congratulations once again to Cody for finishing his story and winning Meaty Boyz WWE Moment of the Year. which brings us into the female side of the match of the year category. And honestly, you can't really go wrong with match of the year. There's so many great matches. Let's see, So obviously we'll go through here we go. And we'll go through the options here. We have Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale at AEW All Out. That was a great match. I love that one. Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander at AEW Full Gear. And Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa AEW Dynasty. So,
call me a sucker for Mercedes Moné, but
He just cheated.
I'm
You
sorry.
read my mind. You read my mind. I'll say the same thing. She's such a dynamo.
I'm a sucker. Give me Full Gear.
oh, that's fair enough. In third place, it was Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa at AEW Dynasty. At second place was Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. And first place, Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale All Out. This match, I think, took a lot of people off guard, and it was insane because a lot of people were talking about, taking a bathroom break during this match, but they got you invested quickly, and just maintained it throughout the entire match. So I give them all the credit in the world. That's absolutely great. So congratulations to Willow and Chris Statlander for winning the AEW Female Match of the Year. Which brings us to the WWE side of Female Match of the Year. Where
I feel like that you did a poor job with this, Brett, and you did a great job with all of these categories.
Yeah.
Putting together the, what you thought were the top 3 matches. There's no way in hell that 2 of your top 3 matches on the women's side in the WWE have Bayley involved in them. She stinks. So I will digress and vote Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, which was the match of the year.
I'll say, what do you think, Mo?
I'll go Rhea and Becky as well. I just think that had the energy. It was compelling. And then you had 2 dynamic talents. So to see Rhea do her thing, and then the way the match kind of changed and flipped, I enjoyed it. I think that's easily, of these 3, the match of the year. I don't even think it's close.
So I actually agree with Gene. I didn't look far enough into the female side of match of the year because I think I missed some. Mainly, I think I missed some bangers from NXT too. So I think that's really where I dropped the ball on this one. I'll be the first to admit that I did mess this one up a little bit, but
I'll tell you right now, if you want to have the same wrestler on there twice, the Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax at in Perth, Australia was absolutely insane.
No, that is fair. That's fair. So yeah, no, I admit I think I may have picked the wrong match. At least one of them. I'd have replaced one of them for.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
You did a great job with this, Brett. I'm just messing with you.
Oh yeah, I'll say we had quite a few write-ins. Which one of them was Rhea versus Nia Jax from the Elimination Chamber in Australia.
Perth.
Io Sky versus Liv Morgan from Saturday night's main event.
Io Sky is awesome.
Io Sky is one of the best female wrestlers. If she had a better voice or a talk piece for her, I think that they could send her on a rocket ship to the moon. I think she's the best female wrestler.
Oh, fair enough. We had Roxanne Perez versus Lyra from NXT Stand and Deliver.
Lyra Valkyrian is absolutely incredible.
We had another write-in for just War Games 2024.
That was the worst female War Games in the history of female War Games ever. It had 7 to 8 botches. Whoever wrote that in, I need you to please explain yourself. That was the worst female War Games I've ever seen in my life.
Let's see. And then we had the last write-in, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan from SummerSlam. I'll
Okay.
say I thought about War
Good match.
Games and Rhea and Liv, but let's see. And there's actually a two-way tie for second. There's a very clear number one. Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton from WWE Backlash France.
Really?
And Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch tied for second. The voters picked Io Sky versus Bayley from WrestleMania Night 2 as the winner.
I disagree.
I didn't feel that match at all. I'm not feeling that match at all. To me, it's got to be Becky and Rhea, and honestly, I don't even think Io and them would be second. They should be third. Like, I'm not the biggest Bayley fan, but Naomi can make anybody look good, and Tiffany is a beast.
I mean, none of these matches match the absolute banger we got with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. So
That was a classic. That was a classic. That's a classic.
So congratulations to Bayley and Io Sky for winning WWE Female Match of the Year. Which will bring us to AEW Female Rivalry of the Year. Now, this one I thought, I figured this one would be pretty straightforward for AEW fans. So the three listed, upper left, we got Toni Storm versus Mariah May. We got Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander. And we have Mercedes Moné. I did it again. I just realized I did it again. We have Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. So Statlander made it twice. And third place, we had Willow versus Chris Statlander. They had the best match of the year, but the rivalry itself wasn't up to par with the other two. In second place, we had Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander.
correct answer.
And in a landslide,
Yep.
Toni Storm versus Mariah May.
This is the correct answer. Toni Storm versus Mariah May is 100% the best female rivalry in AEW. It's not close. It wasn't close. And landslide, I'm so glad the listeners got this absolutely correct.
Yeah, that rivalry is so good that I think it's right up there with just the best rivalries, regardless of company. It was just so amazing.
You are absolutely correct.
Congratulations.
That picture on the screen is actually one of the best moments of that rivalry.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say congratulations to Toni and Mariah for winning Meaty Boyz Female Rivalry of the Year.
Congrats, ladies.
Which, of course, the female rivalry of the year, which I thought the third one was a little underrated. We had Chelsea Green and Mia Yim. Those two went at it on SmackDown and then again in that Queen of the Ring tournament. Really underrated rivalry. I thought those ladies both did an excellent job. So I put that in there. Bayley versus Damage Control. And of course, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan.
So easy. Absolute blowout. Rhea Liv.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
that has everything. That has everything you want from a rivalry.
Yeah, this one I'll just start from the beginning because I think this one is blatantly obvious which one won. Rhea and Liv won first place. So congratulations to Rhea and Liv for winning the female rivalry of the year. Second place was Bayley versus Damage Control, and third was Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim. So
the Bayley versus Damage Control was a really good build-up. I want to be very clear when I say that. Like, I think that was Bayley's best moment is when she basically told Io she's gonna go after her at WrestleMania because she understood what they were speaking. She learned how to understand Japanese so she could hear them talking smack about her. It's a really good presentation. But Rhea Liv has just been, I mean, that's got to be top 5 female rivalries ever. And I'll tell you right now, I'll make a prediction for 2025. The rivalry they are going to create between Bianca, Jade, and Naomi is going to be incredible.
I agree. Honestly, I think that's going to be I think that's probably going to be right here in the top 3 when we're back at it again next December for it.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think that I'm really interested to see how it goes. I have a feeling that Naomi's going to be the one that took out Jade, and I have a feeling that Jade's going to come back with being a little upset that Naomi has her portion of the tag team championship. But I will say this, right? The move is to turn Bianca heel, not to turn Jade heel. That's the move. If you're going to have those girls fight at WrestleMania, Bianca doesn't need the push. She's the GOAT. She's the greatest of all time. Sorry, I'm going on my own tangent. It's Rhea Liv.
No, yeah. It's congratulations to Rhea Liv. And of course, now we got to get to the men's side. AEW Men's Rivalry of the Year. This one, I thought that this one was also going to be a pretty easy one for the voters. The one in the bottom left corner there, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. That one came in third. I don't think that surprises anybody. I thought it was really good, but I felt like no matter what I put was never going to top the first two. And I thought that one might have been the third best rivalry, but AEW gave us two absolute bangers of a rivalry between Darby and Sting versus the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. Just an absolutely great rivalry on both sides. I'm curious. Do you guys want to share who you picked for this one?
I go with Hangman and Swerve. That I think that's one of those rivalries that they're going to continue into the new year. I don't think they're done with each other at all. I think those are two of the bigger stars in AEW too that can help carry the company. So that to me was an easy pick.
100%. I agree with everything Mo said. Hangman and Swerve is my pick.
Well, the viewers agreed with you. At number 2, we had Darby and Sting versus the Young Bucks. Your AEW male rivalry of the year, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. So congratulations to Hangman and Swerve. They absolutely deserve it. And they had one of the top rivalries just regardless of company. It was just absolutely terrific what they did. Ospreay versus Fletcher was an absolutely fantastic match. So the male WWE men's rivalry of the year. This one was challenging to really put together because
the top two are just finding a third to compete with the top two. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because the top two are so good.
Yeah, so I felt like, and it's ironic because I felt like the third best rivalry was just ironically this one, the Cody and Seth versus Roman and Rock. So I kind of just had to put Cody and Roman in there twice. We got Cody and Roman and CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. What did you guys go with this one?
Good, Mo.
This one's a tough one. But to be consistent with the Cody and Roman, I think that has all the elements you want in a rivalry. But I was with Gene I just wanted him to finish the story. It was such a long buildup. The Punk versus McIntyre one right there, I bought everything. I bought all of it. I felt like these two men hated each other. And I didn't know if CM Punk could take it up to another level at this point in his career, but he still can. He's still that it thing. He still got it. To me, the intensity and the hatred of that rivalry, that's the rivalry for me. That I picked Drew and Punk.
I think it's Drew and Punk also. The Hell in a Cell match was incredible. I don't know how it's an all-year rivalry, right?
Yep.
And Drew McIntyre look, I'm trying to hold back some stuff because I know other categories, but Drew McIntyre has had one of the best heel years you will ever watch a wrestler have. I mean, he's probably the MVP of the company right now.
No, that's fair enough. I don't think it'll surprise anybody. You will see Drew later in contention for male superstar of the year. So we had 2 write-ins for rivalry of the year. We had we had 1 write-in, which was Roman and Solo. I will respect that they had a great rivalry. rivalry was fun to watch from SummerSlam all the way up until Netflix.
If we changed it to old bloodline versus new bloodline, I think that could be the third one there.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Okay.
Coming in third, Cody and Seth versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. Coming in number 2, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, winner of Rivalry of the Year. The best in the world, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Well deserved. Well deserved. I really didn't know how they were going to stretch the rivalry all the way when Punk got injured, but they did such a fantastic job just keeping everybody interested, regardless of who was cleared, no matter the circumstances. These guys delivered, so congratulations to Punk and Drew for winning Male Rivalry of the Year. Love to see it. And of course, these are always the toughest, one of the toughest ones too, right? Just trying to pick out who had the best match of the year. This one was really close. So obviously our first selection, Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland from All In, Ospreay Danielson from AEW Dynasty, and Darby and Sting versus the Young Bucks in a tornado tag match and Sting's retirement match.
Yeah, so Ospreay and Danielson is the match of the year. If we're talking about just match, like the overall, like technical abilities, like not the absolute promo, but the match of the year is Ospreay Danielson. I would be very shocked if that doesn't win.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And we did have a write-in. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. from January this year. So it's amazing that Bryan Danielson is just putting on match of the year candidate after match of the year candidate, even though he's like ready to retire. I think he could just wrestle as long as he wanted to, as long as his neck holds up. And, you know, just what a great career that he had. Yeah. And he really capped it off with a phenomenal year. In third place, we did have the tag match with Darby and Sting versus the Young Bucks. Terrific match. But, you know, unfortunately, when you have these two matches ahead of you, that's a tough hill to climb. This one, super close. In second place, Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty, which means the people have spoken and they said the best match in AEW this year, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland for an AEW All In. So absolutely congratulations to Danielson and Swerve for just having a terrific match, and just congratulations to everybody involved for just being so terrific in the ring and entertaining us. Which means I hit you guys with the real tough one next to, what is the WWE male match of the year? I'm curious. Do you want to start with this one, Gene? Who did you pick for this one?
So it's just different, right? Are we talking about what is the most technical best match of the year, or is the best overall match of the year? Now, to be clear, Sami Zayn and Gunther don't belong in the category of the other two. They don't. It's just Gunther's incredible. He had to drop the belt. Sami had his WrestleMania moment. Okay, cool. The Hell in a Cell match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre was an absolute banger. And not only was it a banger, it was technically almost perfect. But like, if the overall aspect of everything happening and what I was most entertained watching, it's the WrestleMania Night 2 main event. That was just more entertaining as a whole. Now, no one's going to confuse Roman Reigns as an absolute technical wrestler. Like, the best wrestling matches of the year are going to be anything that's involved with Seth Rollins. But if I'm asking what entertained me the most, I'll go Roman versus Cody.
Oh, that's fair enough. Mo, which one did you vote for, sir?
I went with Punk and McIntyre. I loved Roman versus Cody, but I think the Punk and McIntyre matchup, I think that was the better wrestling match in terms of what they did in the ring. And so that was the pick for me. Now maybe my guess is the fans are going to lean more towards Roman and Cody, and that's not a bad answer. But I'm just really big on the Punk, McIntyre, and what they did at Hell in a Cell. Loved it.
Well, the fans did have a write-in vote. Cody versus AJ Styles at Backlash, which was an absolute banger. I don't disagree with that one. That's a great write-in. Third place, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. In second place, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania Night 2. They have spoken. Match of the year, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. They have now both won 2 because they had the rivalry and match of the year. So congratulations to both Punk and McIntyre for winning the match of the year. I love it. I felt like there was no really wrong answer on this one between 1 and 2. Whoever you picked, I wouldn't have hated either one. So congratulations to Punk and Drew. Which brings me to we're on our final couple sections here. We have we're going to start with the AEW Female of the Year, which this one, there was a good one. I think that there was an obvious answer to this one, at least from my eyes. Our 3 options: Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné, and I threw her on here. She's having a hell of a year in Ring of Honor. She deserves better. She should be on Dynamite for the world to see. I'm talking about Athena, or otherwise known as Ember Moon from WWE. She jumps to AEW. She's been the Ring of Honor champ for over 700 days, and she's been killing it in every aspect. So I love it. And shout out to there was one other tough one that I didn't put in here, but she got quite a bit of love in the write-in, which was Mariah May. Which, fair enough.
So I like Mercedes Moné more, but the answer should be Toni Storm.
Oh, that's fair enough. Let's see. We have in third we had Athena. That's fair enough. And in second place, Mercedes Moné, number 1. The winner is indeed Toni Storm. Once again, reinventing herself with the timeless gimmick, and just overall, just 10 out of 10 character work this year. You can argue that as good as character work as anybody this year. So congratulations to Toni Storm for winning AEW Female of the Year. So
I've been waiting for this moment all show.
The WWE Female Superstar of the Year. We had quite a few write-ins on this one. We got quite a few loves in the write-in section too. I love to see it. So, Gene, why don't you start us off with this one?
I've been waiting for this one all show. 2024 is belonging to the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Here's the problem where a lot of people, and Rhea probably wins this, and I don't think she deserves to. I want to give credit to the listeners, but the best thing you can run across is a heel that has a believable and understandable backstory. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley used to be a tag team. Rhea turned on Liv. Rhea had a match versus Liv and gave her first real injury in WWE. She separated every muscle in her shoulder and her arm. For anybody that doesn't understand the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, I implore you to do your homework. Is Rhea the better superstar? Will she be bigger? Of course she will. But 2024 belongs to Liv Morgan.
I can't even disagree with that. I actually also picked Liv. I thought she was terrific this year. And I agree. I think a whole motive to her backstory just makes too much sense. And I still find it weird that she's the bad guy in all this.
100%.
It's so weird to
came
me.
back from an injury that Rhea caused.
Yeah, no. Who did you pick, Mo?
It's Liv. It's a sweep. Liv Morgan, to me, I'm impressed with her growth as a performer inside the ring, the storytelling around her character development. This year, it's Liv Morgan. And while I think Rhea will continue to be a bigger star, I don't think Liv Morgan's going away. I don't think Liv Morgan's going away at all.
Hey, that's fair enough. And we actually had 3 write-ins for this one. One is from NXT, Roxanne Perez. She had a terrific year all year.
She did.
Getting quite a bit of love in the write-in section. Bianca Belair. And
I mean, this wasn't the year of Bianca, but I understand she is the GOAT, in my opinion.
And the other lady who got quite a bit of love in the write-in section, Io Sky.
Great wrestler. Not the
No
year
doubt.
of Io Sky, though.
No doubt.
I don't think she'll shock anybody. At 3rd place, we had Bailey. And number 2, you called the Gene. It was Liv Morgan. And the overwhelming favorite who won Female Superstar of the Year was Rhea Ripley. So congratulations to Rhea Ripley for winning Female of the Year.
This is my brutality.
And, this is our last section. I wrote down here AEW and WWE Male of the Year, but actually this has a special name that really just kind of looked awkward when I wrote the whole thing on the emblem in the middle. I named this award the Frank's Fighter of the Year. The reason I picked Frank is that is the name of my grandfather who's sick currently. She's fighting every day. I wanted to name it after the best fighter that I know, and that would be my grandfather, Frank. So, Papa, if you're watching this one's for you. I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, the last award, Male Superstar of the Year, otherwise the Frank's Fighter of the Year from the AEW side. Our 3 contestants, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, or Will Ospreay. And
Go ahead, Brett.
oh no, I was just gonna say that I think that I think that all 3 are worthy, but I think it comes down to between the top 2.
I think there's going to be a write-in, right?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. My thing reset on me. Here we go. There was 1 write-in for Bryan Danielson, and Will Ospreay actually tied in votes. At number 2, we had Hangman Adam Page and AEW's Wrestler of the Year, and I think this is one of the well-deserved, Swerve Strickland. I think that this is the right one. I think the writers and I think they nailed this one. I think the viewers got this one perfect. It definitely was the year of Swerve in AEW.
I don't disagree.
And then, of course, the WWE Frank's Fighter Male of the Year. There was quite a few write-ins for this one. And
I was one of the write-ins.
There was and it was actually insanely close for who the Superstar of the Year was. So
let Mo go first.
Why don't we start with you, Mo? Who did you vote for?
I'm going to be in the minority. I voted for Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, his character development, the way he's embraced this role. Look, the faces, people love the faces, but they're only as good as what kind of heels they have to deal with. Drew McIntyre is like the ultimate heel. This guy's what, 6'3", 6'4", 270. He's ripped. And he's got that menacing approach to him. I think Drew McIntyre, I think Gene said it earlier, he might be the company's MVP on the low. Like he's not getting the love to me that he's deserved. And I'm sure they went another way with this. But I would pick Drew McIntyre.
So I'll go next here because Brett, I really want you to end it on Frank's Fighter of the Year. And let me just let you know, I'll say a prayer. Don't want to get too cheesy here, but I'll say a prayer for Frank.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So on this list, I have Drew 1. I did do a write-in because of all the things that he did this year. Now, he's not going to win this year. He doesn't deserve to win this year. Drew deserves to win this year. But I wrote in Seth friggin' Rollins because I don't think people realize how instrumental this man was to the things that happened on WrestleMania. Coming off a torn meniscus surgery to fight on both nights of WrestleMania, and then have to take that time off to get healed up. He had an absolute war with the Tsunami King himself, going back and forth with him. Seth Rollins has been incredible on his promos with CM Punk this year. I'm a huge Seth Rollins guy, if you couldn't tell already. But Drew McIntyre, out of the three on the choices, should win this. I don't think they'll pick him, but with that being said, what he's done for the WWE as far as rivalries, as far as being a great heel, as far as being, he had a battle with Damian Priest. He had a battle with Seth Rollins. He had a battle with CM Punk. The guy's just been he's battling with the bloodline. Drew McIntyre should win. My vote was for Seth friggin' Rollins.
I'd say I'll go. This was the closest one of the entire thing. First and third place were separated by a combined 3 votes. First place and third place were separated by 2 votes. First and second by 1. I'll go through the write-ins first. We got Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. All right, you know what? I almost put this guy as just a joking idea, but I was kind of scared that he'd actually win. Write-in for Tonga Loa. So I love the little humor in there. The infamous Tonga Loa. Coming in at third place, Gunther.
It's correct.
And then
before you say anything, if Cody Rhodes wins this, I want all the people at home to understand that they wasted 6 months of our lives from WrestleMania to get him a good feud with somebody finally with Kevin Owens. Because what they did with Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania Monday to the start of the Kevin Owens feud has been worthless. And that's why Drew deserves to win this. But go ahead.
Like I said, first and second were decided by 1 vote. It was close. Your Frank's Fighter of the Year for the WWE is Drew McIntyre. So congratulations to Drew McIntyre. He is the WWE Frank's Fighter of the Year, and I love it. I voted for him too. Congratulations to Drew. So
it's incredible heel work. Now I want to take you back a year and a half to SummerSlam, where you thought Drew McIntyre, last match in the WWE, his contract negotiations had issues. He lost to Gunther. He was the face, and it's just they needed to reinvent him. They needed to make something different of him. And his ring work in the last year has been absolutely incredible. From him in the ring to his promos. I got to give Drew McIntyre all the credit in the world.
I absolutely. At the end of the day, I think all 3 of these guys were worthy, but nobody was more worthy this year than Drew McIntyre. So, and there you have it. That was the last award to give out. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself. We'll be back, next year to do the same thing. I promise. I'll make sure to diversify the women's match a little more next year. We're gonna have a little fun. Before we get up on out of here, did you want to add anything, Gene?
No, bro, I really appreciate you guys having me on when I can get on. I know I have a super busy schedule, but let me just be clear when I say this. Anytime I can talk wrestling, sports, anything with you two gentlemen, I am very happy to do so. So thank you so much for including me. I appreciate the inclusion. And Bright, if I could tell you one thing, man, you are someone that I am so thankful that I get to work with doing this podcast, because your growth in the podcast industry with the shows, with the graphics, with your insight has been absolutely incredible. And I appreciate everything that you do. If no one has told you today, let me be the first to let you know how appreciate you are. You, Mo, love you guys. I wish you guys the very merriest Christmas, happiest holiday, and I appreciate everything that you bring to the table.
Since we're getting it out there and we're not going to be too cheesy, I'll make it real simple. Gene, I appreciate you, man, so much for steering the ship, for running this network. Make sure you let the fans know that you, Shao, and Cottrell are breaking your streak of Iron Man, and that you guys will return on Thursday.
Yeah, we're going to do a show on Thursday. It'll be just me and Shally. Cottrell gets to go away. He does his Christmas vacation on a cruise every year. So
that's awesome.
But it'll be a little heads up action. We're actually, I'll be perfectly honest with you, we're looking for a third person just for trivia section, because I am one down for the year. It's 14-13. I am one down for the year, and it'd be me versus Shally for basically all the marbles.
Oh wow.
Oh, fair enough. Definitely check them out on Thursday. I might as well use a quick second to plug and one on Thursday. Mo and I are starting a really fun project. We're going to be handing out awards. It's going to be like an award show, but it's going to be every week for the next 5 weeks. We're going to pick the MVP, DPOI, and all NBA teams for each decade, starting in the 80s. So
love that.
We're going to get a little crazy. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to go nuts. We'll still bring you all the most recent NBA coverage, but we'll start at the 80s this week, 90s next week, 2000s, and keep going until we get to the first half of the 2020s. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for tuning into the Meaty Boyz Award Show. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and please have yourselves a good night.